Hello everybody, welcome back. Nooblet here. So it is finally Friday again. I think it's Friday. I'm never really sure what day I live in, but I'm pretty sure it's Friday. So I just got back this past Tuesday from being in Newark, New Jersey. I went to see Distant Worlds, which was awesome because, well, first of all, the concert hall was really great. The concert was amazing. There was a couple of program changes, which included getting in music from Final Fantasy 15. They also had the original singer for a couple of the songs for Final Fantasy 14, which I thought were awesome. And, well, the whole thing was amazing. I posted some pictures and stuff over on Facebook and Instagram, so go check them out. The other thing I did while I was in Newark is the last day we were there, we didn't really have a lot of plans. We were just going to basically spend the day at the hotel and whatnot. But I stopped by GameStop because we needed games, because we both had our DSs with us, and just wanted a new game. I don't know. You ever just feel like you've played all your DS games and you just want another one? So we did. And when I went into GameStop, I found this. And I don't have this. I didn't even know this was a thing. I mean, it's Geralt. And I mean, come on, he's awesome. So, I got that, and then as I kept looking, I saw this. And I was like, oh my god, I can have Geralt and Triss. I mean, how could I pass this up? Then my husband keeps looking through to see what else there is, just randomly, and then he found this. So now I have Geralt and Triss and Aridin. And, you know, that's pretty awesome. So then I started looking, and I was like, oh, well, there's got to be a Ciri, right? And I mean, sure enough, as always, the back of the box sort of shows you, like, what's part of this collection. And there is a Ciri. There's also a Yennefer, which, to be completely honest with you, I don't know that I care about. Like, part of me does, okay? Part of me feels like I should have this whole collection, right? Just to have it complete as a set. I don't really like Yennefer. And I find myself torn, like, do I spend the extra, like, I mean, it's only like $10 or $12, depending on where I find it. But the thing is, like, I don't really care to have Yennefer as part of my collection. But it's, like, part of this collection, so I mean, I'm never probably going to sell this collection, so whether it's worth more money to have the full set as opposed to just part of it is probably irrelevant to me. So yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to get Yennefer yet. I did find Ciri on Amazon. They didn't have Ciri over at that GameStop. They said they had it at another GameStop somewhere nearby. But I didn't feel like driving around New Jersey trying to find it. It really wasn't worth it, especially when I could get it on Amazon. So I just got these, which I could have probably also gotten on Amazon, but it seemed, you know, I was already there. They were there. They were well painted, you know, so there you go. So that's what I did, which means that because I was gone also for the weekend, I didn't have a lot of time to do anything else. Actually, I've barely had time to do anything since, I don't know, since the holidays started, since like Thanksgiving, which we talked about this a little bit last time. The other thing is I have somewhat of another update. I am a little bit delayed on videos again, partly because, and I did post about this on Facebook as well. The other day I spent it, I think it was Wednesday, reinstalling my computer. There was some issues with my Windows 10 installation, and a couple of things started popping up here and there. And I was noticing problems that I just couldn't fix. Like, just something seemed to be corrupted in the installation or whatnot. Maybe an update did it. And the thing is that I had no system restore point that was old enough that would fix the problems. So I decided to go ahead and get a brand new drive, do an SSD, do a fresh installation of Windows 10, and go from there and see if that fixed my problems. One among them was that the computer was taking forever to boot. Like, whenever Windows would just start, it was using 100% of the hard drive, like, at all times for, like, 15-20 minutes. The first 15-20 minutes the computer was on. And it was getting really annoying. So, in turn, I usually never turned off my computer. So, I've been reinstalling slowly because I had several issues. I had mainly one issue. I needed to take the whole computer apart to do this because back when I put it together, I have a Silverstone Raven RVO 3. For those of you who want to look it up, I can probably put up a picture on the screen too. But the way it's set up, it's the drive base, the hard drive base, sit behind the motherboard, like on the other side of the panel, the motherboard panel. And at the time when I put it together last year, when I got all my new parts, all my new motherboard, processor, all that, I, rather than having the foresight of saying, I'll just put in all the drive bays now for the possibility of future expansion, I put only the drive bays that I needed in. And what happens is, because it backs up to the motherboard panel, the screws to put in the additional drive bays were now behind the motherboard, so it meant I had to take apart the whole thing just to get an additional hard drive base. So whatever, I did that. I spent the day like taking it all out, cleaning all the fans and stuff like that, putting it back together. But one of the issues I had while I was doing that was I could not find my power supply cables, my extra power supply cables. And I was scouring the house everywhere, couldn't find them. We finally found some, and they looked like they might belong to my power supply, so I used it. When I was finally done and I went to turn on the computer, it wouldn't turn on. It took me a second. Like, I would press the button and you would hear sort of like that, you know, like little pop of electricity going, and then like it would just immediately, like, it wouldn't do anything. So we figured out it was the cable. Scoured the house all over again to finally find my box of power supply cables. Finally got it all plugged in. It turned on this time. But now when I went into the BIOS to set up all the boot priorities and stuff, I realized that it was only reading 4 out of the 5 hard drives I had installed in there. And I assumed I had just picked up like a random SATA cable that I found like in one of my boxes. So I thought like, oh, maybe it's just a faulty SATA cable. Maybe that's why it's not in use. So I ordered extra SATA cables, and I eventually found another SATA cable in the house to just test it with. And no matter what I did, I could not get the BIOS to recognize that additional hard drive. So I opened up the computer again. I don't know what I was still moving around SATA cables, hoping to find that I was maybe that something was faulty. When I finally realized that it was this drive, I finally realized, like, if you've ever like put these drives on like an external like reader or something, you know, like you can feel when a hard drive is spinning, when it's like powering up and spinning. And I realized that this drive was doing nothing. It wasn't powering up. I couldn't hear it. I couldn't feel it spinning. So what I think happened is that power supply cable I used, the one that didn't originally belong to my computer, I think it probably put through like a short. And I think it shorted out this piece right here. They call it like the PCB, I think. I don't even remember what it stands for at the moment. But so I think it's simply that it's no longer getting power. And at least that's what I'm hoping. This can be replaced. It's a 50-50 split, whether or not it'll fix it or not. It's like, I look it up online and it's like, yeah, changing it to PCB always works. Sometimes it doesn't. You have to find the exact same drive, preferably manufactured within the same time frame. So I'm gonna test that out. I found the exact model of this drive on Amazon, and I went ahead and bought it. I found like an old used one, which is still supposed to be working for like $20. And I'm gonna see if that works, because I did have data on that drive that it wasn't backed up anywhere. And I wanna get it back. My other thought was to just call like a data recovery service, which I did. I sent an email to one that I found online that it was local, and they gave me a quote. It was more than I expected. I had read online like on average you'll pay $200, $300, $400. And I was like, okay, the data might be worth $300 to me, you know. And I called and they said, which was good, they're like, okay, they'll examine the drive and find out if the data is recoverable, and that's free. It doesn't cost you anything for them to look at the drive and find out if they have a way of recovering the data. However, if they do find that they can recover the data, they just do it automatically. Like once you give them the drive, they're assuming that it's on they called it like a pre-approval or something. Like if I hand over the drive to them to say, hey, can you recover the data? And they examine it, and it's like, oh, yeah, we can do it. They just kind of go ahead and do it. And it costs $1,100 to do that. I don't know that the data is worth $1,100 to me. Like, well, I'm not sure that I have any other way of recovering it, and I'm pretty certain it's not backed up anywhere. I'm just not certain it's worth that much to me. So I'm going to try a couple of other solutions here and there and see if I can get that fixed. But not having this did end up delaying me in installing everything else, like my games and whatnot. So I just got like OBS and Sony Movie Studio installed this morning. And I'm going slowly because now I'm also subject to the famous Comcast data caps. So I have a terabyte of data that I can use from Comcast, and I have to make sure I don't go over. And if I were to reinstall probably all my games, we definitely would, especially since the month just started. So yeah, it's going to be a slow process. I'm still getting around. Just this morning, I did manage to get Mass Effect 2 reinstalled and everything. It's really weird. Turns out that Origin has no way of detecting if if a game is already installed. Like, you can point it to a game that's a non-Origin game, or you can re-download. It just has no way of you telling it, like, hey, this game is already installed. Look for it here. It just won't do it. So I do have all my installations of all of my games on Origin, primarily because my Dragon Age, my Mass Effect games, they're all modded. And they're kind of a pain in the ass to mod, so I didn't want to redo it. So I backed all that up. So what you apparently have to do is you have to start the download on Origin. Have it, create the folder and stuff. And then supposedly you can pause it and copy over your files, and then it'll sort of like complete the download really quickly because as it's checking, it realizes all the files are already there. So that should work, theoretically. It doesn't seem to entirely work for me because I think it detects a lot of files that need to be replaced due to the fact that they're modded files. But I still managed to get it done. So Mass Effect 2 is also installed and functional. So that's going to be my project tomorrow. I'm going to try to work on getting more Mass Effect videos done. We're pretty quickly coming up on March, and I know I have till March 21st, but we're pretty quickly coming up on that, and it's barely having time to finish Mass Effect 2 and 3 before that. Well, I mean, I have time to finish them if I just play them straight through. I just don't know if I have enough time to put up all the videos, even if I do it daily. But we'll see. So I'm going to start working on that and hopefully be back on a normal schedule by next week. And yeah. So there's all my adventures for this past, I don't know, like month for the most part. I hope you guys have some good plans this weekend. I hear it's a Super Bowl. I say I hear because honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I did not even know that. Somebody asked me this morning, they're like, oh, have any interesting plans for the Super Bowl? And I was like, when's the Super Bowl? I know, some of you probably are just going to unfollow me right now and hate me. I'm playing D&D apparently on Super Bowl Sunday. So there you go. That's me in a nutshell. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to be notified of my future videos, be it gaming-related, unboxings, my ramblings, whatever it is, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, which is somewhere on this page. I tell you it's up or down or wherever, but I think there's one below me depending on where you're watching the video. And I'm sure if you're watching this video on my page, on like my, page for my channel, then it's probably above me, and I don't know. It's just somewhere. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you later.